Good evening to our viewers watching on television and those joining us online across our social media platforms. I am Adana Doric with the Thursday, April 9th edition of the Guyana TV9 News. In the headlines tonight, President Ali backs CARICOM Secretary General's reappointment amid TNT criticism. Nandlal Slum City Council's appalling failure insists MNCC has no moral authority to object the street takeover. Digital driver registry to boost traffic enforcement in Guyana. And Guyana and St. Kitts and Nevis ink 3 historic pacts to bolster regional food security and governance. Now for the news in depth. In a major push for regional integration, President Irfan Ali and Prime Minister Terence Drew have signed a landmark 3-part agreement between Guyana and St. Kitts and Nevis. The MOUs target a transformation in food security, national security, and digital governance, signaling a deeper strategic alliance between the two CARICOM nations. More in this report. The agreement signed at the Office of the President in Georgetown establishes a structured framework for collaboration across critical sectors, with both leaders emphasizing that the benefits will extend beyond their borders to the wider CARICOM region. Under the Security Cooperation MOU, both countries will collaborate on a non-lethal defense initiatives, strengthening coordination between their security institutions. The agreement paves the way for joint training, intelligence sharing, and capacity building to better respond to evolving regional threats and promote stability. Guyana's Chief of Defense Staff Brigadier Omar Khan and Mayor Kayode Sultan of the St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force formalized this component, signaling a commitment to deeper institutional ties in safeguarding national and regional security. The second MOU focuses on agriculture and food security, with both nations prioritizing increased production, sustainability, and resilience. The partnership is expected to drive innovation in farming, strengthen supply chains, and support regional efforts to reduce dependence on imported food while advancing self-sufficiency.
When in the last 50 years, we have lost more than 60% of our biodiversity. Today, we are part of this movement to protect and rebuild this great asset of ours.
The third agreement centers on government modernization, targeting improved public sector performance and accountability. Through shared best practices and enhanced performance systems, both countries aim to deliver more efficient, transparent, and citizen-focused governance.
I'm very pleased to present you with fun in the University Alliance, an alliance of countries, institutions around the world, academia, private sector, research, and of course, the nation states. We welcome you as a member of the Global Biodiversity Alliance and say to you that you are now part of this massive undertaking in safeguarding biodiversity.
In addition, President Ali underscored the importance of biodiversity protection as St. Kitts and Nevis joined Guyana's Global Biodiversity Alliance, highlighting the critical role of governmental preservation in sustaining economies, cultures, and future developments. Adana Doric, Guyana TV9 News. The government is moving to strengthen road safety enforcement with the introduction of a new digital driver registry designed to track the behavior of motorists across Guyana. More in this report.
The Attorney General's chambers will lead the development of the system, which will store key information on road users, including licensing details and histories of traffic offenses.
Additionally, based upon His Excellency's direction, the Attorney General Chambers is ready with a new wave of legislative amendments to the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act and related legislation to address issues such as noise nuisance, including that which emanates from motor vehicles and littering in public places. These measures form part of the government's continuing efforts to enhance public safety in Guyana, especially on our roadways and public spaces.
The initiative forms part of the government's broader Safe Country agenda, championed by President Irfan Ali, aimed at improving public safety nationwide. Authorities explained that the registry will be shared across multiple state agencies, including law enforcement, the judiciary, the prosecutorial bodies, allowing for more coordinated and efficient handling of traffic violations. The system is also expected to reinforce the demerit point system, making it easier to suspend or revoke license for serious offenses such as drunk driving and motor manslaughter.
The data in relation to antecedents, previous convictions, previous charges are manually stored. So, for example, a person who is charged at Vredenhoop and appears before the Vredenhoop Magistrates Court in relation to speeding or drunken driving or motor manslaughter for that matter, the magistrate hearing the matter is not equipped and is not possessed of the antecedents of that person.
In addition, the AG revealed that new legislative amendments are in the pipeline, targeting ongoing concerns like noise nuisance, particularly from vehicles and littering in public spaces. While no rollout date has been announced, officials say the move represents a shift towards data-driven enforcement, ensuring repeat offenders are more easily identified and held accountable as efforts continue to make Guyana's roads and public spaces safer.
U.S. Export-Import Exim Bank Chairman John Jovanovic arrived in Ghana for high-level discussions aimed at supporting the nation's flagship gas-to-energy GTE project, which is backed by a $527 million loan. The visit aims to strengthen the U.S.-Ghana partnership in energy security, with the project now aiming for completion in late 2026, amid efforts to significantly reduce electricity costs. More news after the break. Stay tuned.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2026 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Persons eligible for registration must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for their area of residence to apply. Persons who are already registered could apply for a name change if they have changed their names since they were registered, apply for corrections if there is incorrect information on their national ID cards. Persons who are desirous of conducting any of the above transactions must provide the relevant supporting documents. Persons who are already registered must collect their new ID cards if they have not yet done so. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at a different address than the one you were registered at. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. If you have moved to a new address since you were registered, you are required to update your address by applying for a transfer to ensure your address is accurate. Where to apply for a transfer? Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to apply for a transfer. When to apply for a transfer? You can apply to have your address updated during this national registration exercise. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. The office hours for GCOM are: permanent registration offices open Monday to Thursdays from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 16 hours 30, and on Fridays from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has reaffirmed Ghana's full support for the reappointment of CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Burnett, countering objections raised by Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad B. Cesar. More in this report.
Speaking with members of the media, the head of state said Ghana was actively involved in the decision-making process and stands firmly behind the outcome.
Well, first of all, let me be fully transparent on this matter. I was involved in the discussions, as all other heads, on the reappointment of the Secretary General. We support the reappointment of the Secretary General. That's the first thing.
President Ali explained that the discussions surrounding the reappointment were conducted during the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, where leaders exchanged views before arriving at a consensus. He emphasized that the process followed was no different from when the Secretary General was first appointed, dismissing any suggestions of irregularity. The Guyanese leader acknowledged that while individual leaders are entitled to their opinions, the decision taken reflects the collective agreement of CARICOM.
Every leader has their right to, that's part of what democracy is, to have their opinion on a system. But I must say that for the time I'm at CARICOM, we did not follow any different process, and Guyana was part of the decision.
President Ali further noted that Guyana's support for the reappointment is rooted in its confidence in the Secretary General's performance. His comments come against the backdrop of concerns raised by Prime Minister Prasad Besesar regarding the process in a social media post. Prasad Besesar criticized CARICOM officials for failing to respond to official requests from her government for information related to Dr. Carla Burnett's controversial reappointment during a meeting in St. Kitts and Nevis attended by her in late February. Despite the differing perspectives, President Ali underscored that Guyana remains committed to the principles of transparency, collaboration, and unity within the regional bloc. Adana Dorek, Guyana TV9 News.
A 32-member Guyanese contingent is headed to Panama for the South American Youth Games. The squad features top talents in athletics, swimming, and boxing, many of whom are coming off strong Carifta performances. Government and sports officials see this as a vital step toward the 2028 Olympics. With improved training at national facilities, expectations are high for a major medal haul when the team departs next week. The World Bank's latest economic update released Thursday confirms that Guyana remains the primary engine of economic expansion in the Caribbean, with double-digit growth projected to continue through 2027. More in this report.
While the wider Latin American Caribbean LAC region struggles with a modest 2.1% growth rate, Guyana is projected to see its real GDP expand by 16.3% in 2026. This figure is expected to accelerate even further to 23.5% in 2027 as new offshore oil projects reach peak production capacity. The report highlights a significant disparity between Guyana and its neighbors. Excluding Guyana's performance, the Caribbean subregion's growth would drop to just 2.9% for 2026. Beyond the energy sector, the World Bank noted robust health in Guyana's non-oil economy, driven by massive public infrastructure projects, including the new Demerara River Bridge and the Berbice Highway. The construction sector is surging at over 25%. Additionally, manufacturing and agriculture have shown resilient growth of 12.9% and 7.6% respectively. Financial analysts pointed to Guyana's strong fiscal position as a key differentiator. The country maintains a debt-to-GDP ratio of approximately 23%, significantly lower than many regional peers currently grappling with debt-to-GDP levels near 90%. However, the World Bank maintains a cautious optimism, advising the Guyanese government to continue strengthening its public institutions. The bank emphasized that the long-term success of this striking transformation will depend on how effectively oil revenues are used to bridge the gap between headline economic figures and the daily living conditions of rural and hinterland communities. The report concludes that while global oil price volatility remains a risk, Guyana's Natural Resource Fund, NRF, and controlled fiscal spending provide a critical buffer to prevent the economy from overheating.
We will be right back after the short break.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592 761 5006, 710 5008 600 5006, or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Alberttown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. President Irfan Ali is calling for an overhaul of Guyana's anti-littering laws, proposing stricter fines and the use of CCTV cameras to identify offenders in real time. This initiative, part of the broader Men on Mission campaign, aims to curb illegal dumping in commercial and developed areas to enhance public health and tourism. Attorney General Anil Nandlal has declared that Georgetown City Council lacks the moral authority to object to the government's takeover of city streets, citing their appalling failure in infrastructure maintenance. Defending the move as a lawful necessity under the Roads Act, Nandlal argued that the state is simply intervening to remedy a disastrous situation in the public interest. Here is more.
The City Hall reacted angrily, describing the government's actions as a hostile takeover. The Mayor and Council expressed concern over the potential loss of revenue, warning that the decision could affect the city's finances. Some City Hall officials also suggested that the government was overstepping its authority, a claim Attorney General Anil Nandlal disputes.
I maintain that the decision of the government is lawful. The process embarked upon by the government in giving effect to this decision is lawful. I read that the City Council is considering legal proceedings, and I wish to say on behalf of the government that all or any proceedings filed will be strenuously defended.
According to the Attorney General, the move is necessary because the City Council has failed to adequately maintain roads despite decades of access to revenue streams. Nandlal criticized the mayor for focusing solely on potential revenue loss rather than addressing the ongoing neglect of infrastructure. The government has clarified that the decision will not affect ownership of the streets. Rather, it shifts jurisdiction and maintenance responsibilities to the Ministry of Public Works, which has the resources and capacity to improve the road's condition. Nandlal said the process is entirely lawful and any legal challenges by the council will be strenuously defended. The mayor has also hinted at reinstating parking meters to offset lost revenue, and move that has sparked public debate. Nandlal dismissed the idea as misdirected, stating that the council should focus on accountability and service delivery rather than generating income at the expense of residents.
And all that this mayor is concerned about in this story is the fact that the mayor and city council will lose revenue from these streets as a result of the government taking them over. This gentleman doesn't show any remorse. He doesn't accept any level of responsibility for the neglect that is patent and obvious. All he laments about is the city council's loss of revenue that will be suffered because of the government's decision.
Political observers have noted that the dispute could have broad implications ahead of the local government elections. As the debate continues, earlier last year, the president, Dr. Mohamed El-Fanali, spoke about his vision of transforming Guyana into a greener and safer country, emphasizing the importance of environmental protection, sustainable development, and national security. He highlighted ongoing efforts to expand renewable energy, safeguard natural resources, and improve public safety, noting that these initiatives are essential to ensuring long-term prosperity and a higher quality of life for all citizens.
Turning to regional news, Barbados is betting big on its Beijing Rockets following a 33-medal haul at the 53rd Carafta Games. Prime Minister Mia Mottley has announced a $1 million boost for the National Athletic Program. This funding, equivalent to roughly 100 million Guyana dollars, will target elite coaching and sports medicine to fast-track these junior stars towards the next Olympic cycle. In international news, the U.S. Selective Service System is proposing a major shift, automatically registering young men for the military draft. This move would end the decades-old practice of self-registration, with supporters claiming it will slash costs and fix a system plagued by declining compliance. However, the plan is already sparking heated debate as critics warn it paved the way for future conscriptions and reviews tensions not seen since the Vietnam War era. Those are our major headlines for tonight's newscast. For more trending stories, follow us at our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9. I am Madana Doric. Thanks for watching.